Today we're here talking about the three most popular selling in-pool lounge chairs. We have the Ledge Lounger Signature Chaise, the Tenjam Shayz In-Pool Lounger, and the Floating Luxuries Kai Shelf Lounger. Now we just looked at how to fill them. Now we're looking at how to take the water out of them when it's time to get these chairs out of the pool. Right now we have the Ledge Lounger full. On their specs it shows that it's up just over 140 pounds of water or total weight with the chair and the water inside of it. But what I need to do to take the water out is the same thing in opposite direction that I did to put the water in. So I need to flip this lounger over without scratching it, take the screw plugs out of the bottom, and I'm about to show you how I do that. So let's start. First thing is I need to get this thing off the shelf, because if I try to turn it over on the shelf, I'm definitely going to scratch it up. So if I just push it off, now kind of neutral in the water, and I can flip it over. But I want to do this as I'm close to the edge of the pool because I need access to my tools. Well, I'm also going to need a spot to put these plugs as I take them out. I got that one. Let me get to the bottom. I got one more plug here. It's kind of a little hard to hold and try to get it out at the same time. Okay, I got that. So now, I think the best process for me to go is to try to get the water to flow out of this bottom hole. I'll do that by just lifting up the lounger. I can see water trying to gurgle out of there. And then I'm just going to apply force to try to get the water to spill out of here. I think it's important to try to keep at least one of the plugs up above the water line and then just keep lifting from there. Again, you want to try to do this without scratching it up. Like I see the water forcing itself out of that hole. I'm putting a lot of pressure on holding this with all the water weight above the pool. The lounger itself does weigh like 40 pounds. So now we're just going to weight it out. As I'm looking at that plug isn't like centered on the bottom or anything. So it's going to be, I don't think I'm going to get all the water out of it, but I think I'm going to get most of it out so I can at least manhandle it or get it out of the pool. However, if I was going to put this in winter storage or something, I'd really want to focus on trying to get like most of the water out. In this case, I got enough out to where I feel like I can manage it. I'm just going to set it here. Should have like a moving blanket or something to set it on top of. There's definitely still water in here, so I think the last step is I'm just going to flip it, try to get that water to come out of that hole. But I do have these ridges that are probably going to lock the water into different channels here. You can tell there's definitely still water inside. Well, it's going to be a long wait trying to get all the water out, and I don't know if you can actually do it. So I'm going to call that good for now. There's definitely water inside of it, but I don't want to lose the plugs. So with that, I'm going to get the plugs back out and just make sure I don't have to screwdriver tighten them down. I just want to make sure I'm not going to lose them. And I'll go about trying to get the plug in there. All right, so that is the process to empty a Ledge Lounger Signature Chaise, and then I'll just put it in a spot where we can use it on the pool edge, or on the pool deck. So that's that. That's the process of emptying the Ledge Lounger Signature Chaise. All right, next we're going to empty the Tenjam Shayz In-Pool Lounger. Well, this product has a patented vacuum valve system. If I tip the product over, the valve is right here. What I can do is just with my fingers, loosen the valve. I don't need to take the valve all the way out. What that valve does is it allows air and water to move only one way out of the core of the chair, but not back in. So by loosening it, I am allowing air to go back into the core of the chair. Now, to empty the chair, the water right now is vacuum sealed in. Well, I just broke the vacuum seal. I broke that seal again, and throughout the bottom of the chair, there's open holes. So what's happening is if I lift it up, all that water moved out of the bottom of the chair and exited. I just lift it up. See, it's all coming out of the risers at that point. I can just hold it and let that chair drain itself. Okay, so it's easy to hold. You can see I kind of got a handle right there. And now with this chair, I can just go ahead and set it outside of the pool like that, put it on the shelf. And then it will just continue to drain out and dry out, so no water is trapped inside of the lounger. But that's how easy it is to move the Chaise out of the pool. Last chair to take the water out of is the Floating Luxuries Chaise Shelf Lounger. Now this chair has the screw caps and we filled it with hose water. This particular lounger has been in this pool for a month. So it's not the same one we just filled with fresh hose water just a little while ago. We put this one back in the water. It was filled a month ago with hose water, and I'm just going to show you the process of taking it out. Now in Chaise instructions, they tell you to run hose water through it like every 90 days to refresh the water. And they talk about how the UV rays won't allow UV rays to get in, make algae in the water, but we're just going to see how that looks. So the first step is to remove the top plug. You can see that releasing pressure. Okay. Now, you can see the corners of the chair are banged up a little bit. These have been in the pool for a month, so the owner could have went through the same process I'm about to go through here. Now, the second step is I could remove that bottom valve, and I can try to do that with my fingers, but it's on so tight that I'd have to use this underneath the water, and that's tough, and I don't want to ruin their plug. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it onto its side. When I do that, the water that's been in this lounger for a month is going to start coming out of that top hole. So I'm going to hold it in this position. I'm just going to let the water come out. Now this plug is above the water line. So what I want to do is I actually want to just take this plug. No, at this point I want to take this plug out without damaging the plug. And let's just see what we got. So I do see on the plug, there's some algae buildup inside of the plug itself, and I can see it's really green around the inside of the chair. In fact, in standing back, I can see where the existing water line was inside the chair, because I think my theory is that there's algae buildup inside the chair up to what that water level was in the chair. I can also see on the bottom, there's like a clear plug that's there in manufacturing. You can also see the green stain on that plug where the algae buildup was. So I think when you fill these chairs, you should do your best to try to get as much chlorinated pool water in the chairs as possible and not just take water straight out of the hose to fill the whole thing, or you're going to get the algae buildup really quick. Again, in this case, just a month. So now I got both the plugs out. You can see that one's green that was in the water. And so I got the hole down on the top corner. I got the hole here. But now this thing is full of water all the way up to this pool water level right here. So what we need to do is I just need to tilt the chair to get it to that top hole and just hold it here until I can get enough water out of it where I can actually get it out onto the pool deck. Right now I'm thinking there's probably still at least 100 pounds of water in here. And I'm just going to hold it here for a while. I can see the water line inside the chair is still about 6 inches above the actual pool water level. So as I do this, I'm emptying the lounger on that back corner. If I pull it out, you'll see the water still cranking out of here. It's light enough to where I can manipulate it now though. If I just grab this, go ahead and put this on outside the pool. Again, being careful not to scratch it. It is a wider lounger, so it's harder to get a grip on. But there, now it's out of the pool. And again, I'll just replace the plugs. But in this case, if I'm storing it, I'd want to leave the plugs off for a little while so that air can just dry it out inside, so we're not continuing that algae buildup. I feel if we just go ahead and seal it all in right now, it's only going to get worse when we take it out of storage. So that's how to empty the floating Luxuries Kai shelf lounger.